Hello, dear students. Welcome into the sixth lecture on Introduction to Food Chemistry. Myself, Mr. Mangesh Shankar Vale. I am working as an assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Jawar. So, dear students, into the previous lecture, we have completed the tea as a food product. In that we have seen components of the tea, types of tea, and estimation of tannin in tea. In this video lecture, we are going to see study and analysis of food product and detection of adulterants in honey. Okay. In this honey food product, first we will see analysis of reducing sugars in honey by Coolidge ferricyanide method, and second, detection of adulterants in honey. Now we will see honey. All of you know honey, right? Honey is a sugar food substance produced and stored by certain social hymenopteran insects. That is what? Honey bee. That means honeybee creating or preparing the honey into the honeycomb that we are using as a food product into our daily life. Okay. First part, that is analysis of reducing sugars in honey by Coolidge ferricyanide method. Okay, before going to this Coolidge ferricyanide method, now we will see some basic concept regarding the reducing sugars. Honey contain disaccharides such as sucrose and maltose. These are the disaccharides in small quantities. The hydrolysis of sugar, that is sucrose, a disaccharide into its component monosaccharides, dextrose and fructose, is called inversion. That means the form of monosaccharides, dextrose and fructose, which is also called as what? Inversion. During inversion, the following reaction takes place. That means when the monosaccharide will be converted into the dextrose and fructose, the inversion takes place. They have gave the simple reaction. See the reaction. This is the reaction. C12H22O11 plus H2O, which is gives C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. So this is the simplest reaction. What is C12H22O11? That is sucrose. Okay. That sucrose hydrolyze, okay, and it will convert it into the glucose and fructose. This is the inversion form of the sucrose. Okay, when it will react with water molecule and converted into the glucose and fructose. Then when we pass plain polarized light through a solution of pure sucrose, it rotates to right. That means suppose when we prepare the sucrose solution and when we pass the plain polarized light through that sucrose solution, that light will get rotated to right angle, right? As hydrolysis reaction takes place, that means inversion reaction will be takes place, the solution will contain sucrose, glucose and fructose, hence the amount of rotation is reduced. That means when we pass the light, or we can say hydrolysis reaction will be taking place at that time, if present sucrose, glucose and fructose, at that time rotation of the plane polarized light will be reduced. When the hydrolysis reaction is complete, that is conversion of reductants into products, the solution will contain only monosaccharides, that is glucose and fructose. See, that means hydrolysis reaction is completed, then that solution contains only what form? The glucose and fructose, just we have seen into the previous reaction. Hence, the direction of rotation is completely changed, inverted from right to left. That means the entire sucrose solution will get converted into the glucose and fructose. At that time, rotation of that plane polarized light will be inverted. That means simply it will rotate from the left, not from the right. Okay, above just we have seen the example. We have taken the sucrose solution, right? Into the sucrose solution, when we pass the plane polarized light, at that time rotation of the light will, will be from right side. Okay, why? Because only sucrose solution is there, right? But when the hydrolysis reaction takes place, okay, when sucrose reacts with water molecule, it will form the glucose and fructose. At that time, entire sucrose will be converted into the what? Glucose and fructose. Then, when we pass the light from that glucose and fructose solution, at that time, plane polarized light will not rotate from right side. It will rotate from the left hand side because of presence of glucose and fructose only. Okay. The process is therefore is called as what? Inversion. That is the inversion process we can say. Okay. Thus, during the hydrolysis reaction, non-reducing sugars are converted to reducing sugars, which can be determined by using Lane-Ion method or Coolidge-Ferricyanide method. This Lane-Ion method we have seen in previous food product, right? In this food product, we are going to see Coolidge-Ferricyanide method. Its principle, preparation of solution or sample solution, and its procedure and calculation. This part we are going to learn into this video lecture. Now, actual method, that is Coolidge-Ferricyanide method. First, we will see the principle of that Coolidge-Ferricyanide method. In this estimation, redox reaction is involved. That means when we estimate the sample solution, the redox reaction will be takes place. In this method, lactose is added to hot potassium percyanide under alkaline condition. See, they have give the lactose solution, or that will be added into the potassium percyanide solution, that will be in hot condition and under alkaline condition. During the titration, lactose solution is added to hot boiling solution of potassium percyanide. Lactose is oxidized and ferricyanide is reduced to ferrocyanide. See the reaction. During the titration, the lactose solution we are keeping into the hot boiling solution of potassium percyanide, and when we titrate that lactose solution, at that time lactose will be oxidized itself, okay, and the ferricyanide, potassium ferricyanide, which will be present into the same solution, that will be reduced into the ferrocyanide. The redox reaction continues till entire ferricyanide is consumed. Whatever ferricyanide will be present into the sample solution, along with sample solution, that entire will be consumed to convert ferrocyanide till the redox reaction will be continue. Excess added sugar solution reacts with methylene blue indicator, converting it to leucobase. See, when we add excess sugar solution, that will be reacts with the methylene blue as an indicator, that will be converted into the leucobase. Now we will see preparation of solutions. For this Coolidge ferricyanide method required very or we can say required 1 to 6 solutions. How we can prepare that we are going to see now. First solution, 1% K3 efficiency, that is potassium ferricyanide. How we will prepare? For that, we have to take 1 gram of K3 efficiency powder dissolved into 100 ml distilled water. That will be the 1% K3 efficiency solution. Second, 2.5 normal sodium hydroxide. For that, we have to weigh 2.5 gram of sodium hydroxide pellets and dissolve into the 250 ml of distilled water. That is the 2.5 normal sodium hydroxide solution. Third, 5 normal hydrochloric acid. For that, we have to take 125 ml of commercial HCl or concentrated HCl diluted to 500 ml with distilled water. That will be the normal HCl solution. Fourth one, 1% methylene blue. This is the indicator. For that, we have to weigh 0.5 gram of methylene blue powder, dissolve into the 50 ml distilled water. That will be the 1% methylene blue as an indicator. Fifth one, 1% glucose solution. For that, we have to weigh 1 gram of glucose, dissolve in a 100 ml of distilled water. It will be 1% glucose solution. Sixth one, honey sample solution. See, here is the sample solution. For that, we have to weigh 10 gram honey, that is W. Here W will be required for the calculation purpose. So, weight of the honey, that is W, is equal to 10 gram. We have to weigh and dissolve in minimum amount of hot water, cooled and then diluted to 250 ml with distilled water. That will be the honey sample solution. Okay. Now we will see procedure. First part of this Colles ferricyanide method, that will be the standardization of K3 efficiency, that is potassium ferricyanide. This is the first part of this method. For that, we have to pipette out 250 ml of K3 efficiency in a evaporating dish. Add to it 5 ml of 2.5 normal sodium hydroxide and boil the solution. Titrate the hot solution against standard 1% glucose solution till the solution turns pale yellow in color. Okay, what we are going to do into this standardization part? We have to take 25 ml of K3 efficiency solution in a evaporating dish. Then into that evaporating dish, we have to add 5 ml 2.5 normal sodium hydroxide solution. Then that evaporating dish we have to boil. Okay. After boiling that entire hot solution, we are going to titrate against 1% glucose solution. Up to what? Till the solution turns pale yellow in color. Okay. After the pale yellow color, we have to add drop wise or few drops of methylene blue as an indicator to above solution and continue the titration till the solution becomes colorless. Okay, here we will get the end point of this standardization part. Note down the reading as AML. Here we are going to take the reading from the burette, that is AML. This is the first part of this Colles ferricyanide method. Here we are getting the first reading, that is AML. Second part, estimation of reducing sugar before inversion. See, reducing sugar we are going to take sucrose here. Before inversion, what will be the estimation that we are going to see, or the procedure we are going to learn. For that, pipette out 25 ml of K3 efficiency in a evaporating dish. Add to it 5 ml 2.5 normal anyways and boil the solution. It's the same procedure just we have seen. Then titrate the hot solution against prepared honey sample solution till the solution turn pale yellow in color. See, up to this we have seen the same procedure in first part, right? What is that procedure? We have taken the operating dish. Into that we have take 25 ml K3FeCN6 solution and 5 ml sodium hydroxide solution. Then boil it. After boiling that hot solution, we are going to test against the prepared honey sample solution. We have prepared 250 ml 10 gram honey sample solution, right? We have to test it against that honey sample solution till the solution turn pale yellow in color. After the turn, after the pale yellow color of the above solution, we have to add few drops of methylene blue as an indicator into the above yellow color solution and continue the titration till the solution becomes colorless. Here we are getting the end point. Note down the reading as a BML. This is the second reading we are getting from estimation of reducing sugar. This is the second reading. Third part, estimation of reducing sugar after inversion, that means converted into the glucose and fructose, sucrose and fructose. For that, pipette out 25 ml stock honey solution that we have prepared already, right? In a round bottom flask, add to it 10 ml 0.5 normal SCl and reflect the solution for about 1 hour on water bath. ओके, इसमें क्या कर लेने का है हमको, राउंड बॉटम फ्लास्क लेने का है. ओके, उसमें हमें 25 ml स्टॉक हनी सोल्यूशन लेना है. उसमें 10 ml 0.5 नॉर्मल का एससीएल सोल्यूशन डालना है और उसको रिफ्लक्स करना है हॉट बॉइलिंग वाटर बाथ में फॉर 1 आवर. ओके, आफ्टर रिफ्लेक्शन cool the content and neutralize the acid by adding sodium bicarbonate dropwise. After cooling, we have to add sodium carbonate for what? For neutralization purpose. Okay. Dilute the content to 100 ml with distilled water. That means we have to prepare 100 ml that above mixture. Titrate this solution against standardized K3FeCN6 under boiling condition using methylene blue as an indicator and continue the titration till the solution becomes colorless. Here we are getting the reading number 3, that is CML. Okay. Now we will see calculations part of this Colles ferricyanide method. In this 25 ml of K3FeCN6 contains a ml of 1% glucose. Suppose we have taken 25 ml of K3FeCN6. Into that, suppose we will consider AML. Whatever reading we are getting from first part, that much reading, that much 1% glucose will be present. Suppose we are going to increase to 10, then multiply by 10 of that A, we will get milligram of glucose. Then before inversion, B ml of honey solution contains 25 ml of 1% K3FeCN6. Okay, so 10 into A milligram of glucose. Then 100 ml of honey solution contains 10 into A into 100 by B, which gives milligram of glucose. When we put the values of A and B into this, we will get that much milligram of glucose present into the 100 ml honey solution. That will be the m gram of glucose. Then the percentage of reducing sugar in honey, we can calculate simply m by w into 100 m we are getting from the above, and w will be the weight of the honey. Into 100 we will get the percentage of reducing sugar in honey. Then after inversion, C ml of honey solution contains 25 ml of K3FeCN6. Okay, again 10 into A milligram of glucose. 100 ml of honey solution contains 10 into A into 100 by C, that will be the milligram of glucose, that is n gram, whatever value we are getting, that will be the n gram of glucose. Then the percentage of reducing sugar in honey, that we are going to calculate by simply n by w into 100. N we are getting from the above, and w will be the weight of the honey, that is 10 gram into 100, that will be the percentage of reducing sugar in honey after inversion. Okay, now we will see adulterants into the honey. There are total 4 adulterants. How we can identify that adulterants, that we are going to see now. First one, starch based sugar syrup. Second, water. Third, sugar or jaggery. And last one, glucose and sugar syrup. First we will see starch based sugar syrup. How we can identify into the honey. For that, produce from beet or cane is also used in the adulteration of honey. They can be detected by using an isotope ratio mass spectrometer in combination with an elemental analyzer, EAIRMS ratio. This is the procedure. Second, water. To identify water in honey, we have to take a cotton wick, dip in a pure honey. When lighted with a matchstick, burns indicates its purity. Adulterated honey, due to presence of water, will not burn and produces cracking noise sound. Then we can easily identify the water will be present to honey or not. Third, sugar or jaggery. For this, they have told face test. For that, we have to take 5 ml of honey, add 5 ml of solvent ether and shake well. Decant the ether layer into a petri dish and evaporate the ether by blowing. Add 2 to 3 ml of resorcinol, that will be resublimated in 5 ml of concentrated HCl. The appearance of cherry red color indicates the presence of sugar or jaggery. Last one, glucose or sugar syrup. Add small quantity of honey to a glass of water. If honey disperses instantly, it indicates the presence of glucose or sugar syrup. So these are the simplest procedure that we want to follow and identify these adulterants. Okay. So thank you very much, dear students.